them all what I'm made up. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
Okay, so today we're going to dive right in. We're talking David Beckham.
Right.
And it's his 50th birthday.
Big one.
Big one. Huge celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Also, kind of some old stuff coming back up, too.
Yeah, you don't often get those two things happening at the same time. A big milestone birthday and,
Right.
you know, kind of like a blast from the past.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the best one.
It's not just like, oh, remember this fun thing. It's kind of like, oh,
yeah.
this is a little
more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to like lay it all out for you. What's going on with this whole thing? Who are the players? What's the timeline?
Yeah.
So you're totally up to speed without having to like wade through all the tabloids.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got a great Page 6 article that kind of breaks down the birthday party and then also talks about this interview that Rebecca Loos gave.
Uh-huh.
And then we're also going to touch on how the Beckham Netflix documentary from last year kind of plays into all of this.
It's all connected, right?
Yeah.
This is what makes it fascinating. Yeah.
It's all connected.
Like a tapestry.
Okay, so let's jump into this party first. What do we know about this celebration?
So the party itself,
Yeah.
it was Sunday, and this is March 30th.
Cipriani, downtown Miami.
Yes. Very, very swanky.
Very swanky. And the guest list, I mean, oh my gosh.
This is really the who's who
It's
for
like
everyone.
The who's who. I mean, Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yep.
Shaquille O'Neal. Lionel Messi.
I mean, come on.
So like right there, you know?
Yeah, that's A-list.
He's got like
It's
every...
a pretty powerful network to be able to pull in, right?
Yeah.
Like to have that kind of social capital.
Exactly. And then you've got
Very impressive.
Justin Theroux there.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Which I thought was...
Yeah, not so much the sports.
Not so much the sports.
Affiliation there.
Right.
So clearly his reach goes beyond just athletic.
He's got a wide circle.
Yeah.
Mark Anthony was there
Okay.
with his wife, Nadia, the actor Fisher Stevens. Right.
Billionaire Jamie Salter. Anastasia's soar of Anastasia to Beverly Hills.
The brow queen.
Right. And Jack Whitehall.
I love him.
I love him.
Hilarious.
Singer Michael Salgado. Celebrity hairstylist Ken Paves. And even the mayor of Miami, Francis Suarez. Like, you couldn't get in.
That's power.
Right.
I mean, that's a power move to have all those people in one room.
It was the place to be that night.
And especially with the family.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean,
So it was a family affair.
that's always interesting to see how those dynamics play out.
Yes. So Victoria was there, obviously, looking stunning. In a white gown. I saw the pictures.
Oh, yeah. It was
Beautiful.
beautiful. And then Romeo, his son, who's 22, and Cruz, who's 20, were both in tuxedos.
Sure.
And then little Harper, she's 13,
Oh, my gosh.
was in this chic black dress. I know. And then Romeo and Cruz both had their girlfriends there. Kim Turnbull in a sage green dress. And then Jackie Apostle, who's Cruz's girlfriend, was in this like electric blue gown.
With fringe. And they all just looked. It was really like,
Yeah, picture perfect family.
yeah, they were all there to support him.
Yeah. And then conspicuously absent,
Yeah.
the eldest son, Brooklyn,
Right.
and his wife, Nicola Peltz.
Yeah. And there was no reason given.
Interesting.
So, I'm sure everyone's speculating why.
I'm sure.
But back to the party. Black tie affair. Gorgeous white floral arrangements.
I saw those. So elegant.
Yeah. And they had signature cocktails flowing.
Yeah.
And the music was by DJ D-Ice and DJ Stretch Armstrong. So,
They know how to party.
they know how to party. And David Beckham posted on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, such a special night. So lucky to have these amazing friends and family.
Oh, that's sweet.
I know. And then he did a really funny thing.
What was that?
He posted this picture of himself with Shaq and Tom Brady. And he's like right in the middle of them.
I love that.
And he wrote, "I'm so small."
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, they're both quite tall.
Yeah, so I thought that was really cute.
So it really does sound like he is at a peak in his life right now. Very celebratory.
Right.
Really enjoying this moment. But as we mentioned,
Yeah.
this wasn't the only Beckham news this week.
No, because on that same day, this interview with Rebecca Loos came out in Australia on 60 Minutes Australia.
Okay.
And she basically doubled down on her claims that she had an affair with David Beckham
Wow.
back in the day. And she was very firm that she did not exaggerate anything that happened.
So this This is quite the contrast, right?
Right.
You have this very public celebration of his life and career, and then this sort of shadow from the past resurfacing.
And it's not just like a,
Right.
like a he said, she said.
Right,
Like
yeah.
she's saying, no, I'm telling the truth.
This happened,
Yeah.
and I'm not backing down from that.
And so I was thinking, like, who is Rebecca Loos? For those who might not remember.
Good point, because it has been.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
A while.
So Rebecca Loos was David Beckham's personal assistant. Back in like 2003, I think, when he went to play for Real Madrid.
Okay.
And she's the one who originally made these allegations back in 2004 that they had this affair.
While Victoria was out of the country.
Right. And so it was this huge scandal. And now she's back.
Well, and this is the interesting thing about these sort of public figures in their lives. It's almost like a play that keeps getting revived.
Yeah.
Right? Like it comes back every few years. There's a new production of it. So
It's almost like they can't.
it makes you wonder about what motivates people to kind of re-enter the fray after so long. Is it a desire to set the record straight?
Right.
Do they feel like their story hasn't been fully told or heard?
Right.
Or is there an element of wanting to maybe capitalize on the attention surrounding this big event?
Right.
It's hard to know without speaking to her directly, but it's certainly fascinating to consider.
And it's interesting, too, because this isn't the first time this has come back up.
Oh, you're right.
Recently?
It was in that documentary.
Right, in the Netflix documentary, Beckham, from last year.
Which they both participated in.
Yeah, they both participated.
So that already brought this back up to the surface.
Yeah. I mean, and they talk about it in the documentary. Victoria says it was like the hardest period in their marriage.
And that the whole world felt like it was against them.
Yeah. And she even said that if she's being honest, they were kind of against each other, too.
So you can see how the pressure of that situation
Must have been immense.
really tested their bond.
Yeah. And it's interesting.
And of course, David Beckham has always denied.
He has always denied it.
The affair from day one.
And he's never wavered.
Never wavered. And so you have this kind of push and pull between her narrative and his.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it so compelling for the public.
And it's like, how do you know?
Right. Who do you believe?
Who to believe.
Yeah.
And it's been so long.
Exactly.
I mean, this is 20 years ago.
And memory is a funny thing, right? It's not always reliable.
Right.
People remember things differently. They interpret events differently.
Yeah. And they might have reasons to remember things a certain way.
Absolutely. So it's really hard to know.
Yeah. But I do think it's interesting that they renewed their vows twice, once in 2006 and then again in 2017.
That's a very deliberate and public statement, I think.
Yeah. It's like they're really trying to show everyone that
we're solid.
It's still here.
We're committed.
Yeah.
We're moving forward.
Yeah. So it's like, on the one hand, you've got this lavish party.
Yeah.
This like, over the top.
Anybody is there.
Everyone's there. Celebrating
this
this amazing life.
And then you have this
And then this other narrative.
Competing narrative.
Part of his story.
Yeah. So it's just really interesting.
I know. I mean, it really makes you think about how public figures
have to navigate this kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Where their past can just...
Yeah. It could just keep coming back.
Keep coming back up. And I'm sure it's got to be...
Exhausting.
To always have to be thinking about...
Yeah.
Okay, how is this going to be perceived? How is this going to be...
Yeah.
And
spun. Yeah.
Twisted.
Yeah.
Taken out of context.
And how do you even protect yourself from that?
Right. How do you control the narrative?
Yeah.
When you're in such a public position.
Well, it's been.
And it's almost impossible these days.
Right.
Right. With social media and 24-hour news cycles.
And everyone's got a camera.
And everyone has an opinion and a platform to share it. So
that's a lot.
It's a lot to manage. And I think it just makes you think about how much do we really know about these people that we see in the headlines, because we're only getting...
It's all a constructed narrative.
A very carefully constructed version of events.
So I guess for our listeners out there, just think about that. When you're reading these stories, what is the motivation behind it?
Right.
And what is the agenda?
Are they trying to sell something?
Right. Yeah.
Are they trying to promote?
Right. Rehabilitate an image?
Rehabilitate an image, tear someone down.
Right.
It's all part of...
It's a game.
The game.
Yeah.
It's all part of the game.
Well, that's our deep dive into
David Beckham's birthday and all the things that came with it.
And the complications that come with being David Beckham,
right,
I guess. Yeah. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
And we will see you next time.
See you next time.
For another deep dive.
Bye.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.